Welcome to the Mindful Makeover podcast. My name is Stephanie Catalano Robillio, and I'm your host. I am also a licensed clinical social worker, personal development author, life coach, and public speaker. I am committed to bringing you insightful conversations that will help you move forward in your life, turn your dreams into reality, feel good, and live your life on purpose with purpose. If you're ready for healing, empowerment, and transformation, you're in the right place, so let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mindful Makeover podcast, and happy almost May. It is wild, another month has come and gone, and we are halfway through the year, or just about halfway through the year, which is beyond wild to me. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like we were just talking about the fact that 2020 was upon us, and here we are halfway through it. With that being said, today I feel led to talk about the power of deciding and doing. As kids, we are told we can do anything and become anything. And isn't it funny how when we become adults, the language changes? People begin to tell you your dreams are unrealistic and unattainable. All of a sudden, you begin to question, is this possible? Does this make sense? What will they think? Am I too old to start over or to pursue this or that? The list goes on. I want this episode to be a loving reminder that you can do and be whatever and whoever you want. The choice is always yours. Don't let other people's limiting beliefs stop you from becoming whatever it is you dreamed of. And certainly don't let your own thoughts keep you from becoming and doing whatever it is you dream and desire. While we can't control the opinions of others, we can certainly control the story we tell ourselves. We can create a narrative that makes us feel good and empowers us to commit to whatever we decide we want. And this is so important because while sure you can't control other people, that's one thing. But how sad is it to think that you might not move forward in your life because you're in your own way? So often I hear people say that they feel torn because they aren't feeling satisfied in a relationship or they aren't feeling fulfilled in their current situation. Sometimes this is in a relationship and sometimes it's in a job or anything else for that matter. And a lot of times people stay in their situation simply because they struggle to make the decision to move forward. They struggle to make the decision to start, to take that first step that's going to put them on the path of whatever it is they desire. And this is really sad to me, and it's probably sad to me because I was once that person who stayed in situations that were unfulfilling, they were dead ends, and they were empty, simply because I lacked confidence in myself, and I was held back by fear, and I really struggled with thoughts that told me, you're not worth it, what's the point, and so on. And I think a lot of us stay stuck simply because of that. Our thoughts are telling us, you're never going to amount to anything. It's too hard. You don't have enough time. And really, all that is just you being in your own way. And so I know for me, my life drastically changed when I realized I was the only person in my own way. And I was holding myself back out of fear and attempting to control outcomes, which, by the way, we can't do. There is no magic formula to life, and there's no right time. The only time we have is right now. And I say this often because it's the powerful truth. We all have one life in this physical body, and it is truly a miracle to be here on earth. I have been thinking about this a lot lately, and partially it's because I'm reading the book Untethered Soul by Michael Singer for the fourth time. And in this book, he talks about how when you really slow down and think about the fact that we're on a planet in the middle of infinite space, right, surrounded by other planets, really, in the big scheme of things, experience on Earth is such a small speck of all that is. And being here really is a miracle. It's pretty badass to be here, for lack of better words. Like, it's some of the most coolest moments come from the fact that you have the opportunity to be here in the form of a human with the ability to also manifest whatever life you most dream and desire. And sure, do bad things happen? Are there unfortunate things that happen in life? Do we have to go through experiences that are really uncomfortable and even painful at times? Absolutely. By no means am I saying, hey, just because we're here on earth, it should be 150% good and great all the time. No. But I really want to invite you guys to begin to get clear on what it is that you want. And beyond that, examine how are you in your own way, right? How are you in your own way? Because at least from my personal experience, and even my experience as a professional working with individuals as my clients, oftentimes we're able to quickly identify nobody's in the way except us standing in front of us. And so time, right? It's non-refundable. Our time is non-refundable. This is the one thing that we never get back. Once a moment passes, it passes. Once a day ends, it ends. Once a month ends, it ends. A year ends, it ends. And we never get it back. So how are you using your time? How will you use your time, right? Knowing that once it passes, you can't get it back. These are really, really important questions to ask yourself. Opportunities and possibilities are endless, and I want you all to know that you're allowed to give yourself permission to leave a relationship, to start a relationship, to leave a job, open a business, leave your degree behind and start a new one, or go back to college for an entirely different degree. The point is, you can literally do whatever you want. This is the power of free will and choice. This is the power of being a human. Yes, with choices, there are either positive or negative consequences, but you get to decide, and that's what's important. Actually deciding what it is you most want, and then go for it. So often I hear people say they want this and that, but they are afraid to go for it, or they are unsure because they want to one day be married and have kids, and then they question, how will I run my own business if I'm married with kids? How will I keep up with being an author? Or how will I finish school if I end up getting married or having children? And, perhaps even wanting to take that leap into a new career. That holds them back because they're sitting there trying to plan when they'll be married with kids. And they're afraid of what even their loved ones will say, right? I'm sure someone on this episode has had probably that experience where you went to a loved one or a friend and you shared this brilliant idea, and maybe they shut it down, or they told you that it was stupid, or that you'll never be able to do that. And so a lot of times, the narrative that people not only tell themselves, but also the narrative that people listen to from the outside world keeps people stuck. And I can't say it enough, but this is your life. It's not your parents' life. It's not your friend's life. It's not your coworker's life. It's not your partner's or your husband's or your wife's life or your whoever's life. This is your life. Sure, if you have children or in a relationship or married, yes. Do you have to consider other people? Of course you do. By no means am I saying forget your loved ones and do you without any further thought. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is never starve your authentic self. Never turn your back on what you dream of. Never stay the same out of fear. When you feed your authentic self and when you live life aligned with what you want, doing what makes you feel good, you not only will give others permission to do the same, but you ignite your soul. And when your soul is ignited, you become a beam of love, a beam of positivity, a beam of light, a beam of good energy. And in essence, you become better and therefore can be better to your loved ones, your friends, and your partners and husbands and wives. And really, you become better for the greater good of all, the world. And I totally understand that it can be overwhelming at times to make decisions. Trust me, I used to look at everyone else except myself to make decisions for my life. But take it from me, firsthand experience. It won't help you evolve, nor will it bring you the satisfaction or fulfillment you desire. That must come from yourself. It must come from within. I've learned a lot through my journey, and one lesson I've learned is that oftentimes when we experience fear, anxiety, and discomfort, it's simply because we aren't making the decisions we want to or even need to sometimes. We stay in a place of dwelling and analyzing and obsessing and questioning. And when you think about it from that perspective, of course you're going to feel anxiety, right? It only makes sense. If you're sitting there dwelling and obsessing and questioning and analyzing, of course you're going to begin to feel anxious. That is your body telling you it's time to make a decision. Your body is waiting for you to make a decision. And when you don't, or when you delay making a decision, your body communicates through sensation of anxiety or whatever emotion comes up for you. We can't control life outside of us. We can't plan for the perfect time to start the dream business or to become a mom or a dad. There are certain things in life that are beyond our control. But you absolutely can choose to become the master of your life. You can choose to be the person that decides what he, she, or they wants and go after it regardless. You can always choose and decide how you want to show up and how you will show up. Think about all the time you are spending on planning and never doing, on questioning and feeling anxious, on analyzing and not moving forward. All this time can be spent actually getting clear on what it is you want, then crafting a plan of steps of action that will lead you to what it is that you want. The moment you decide, you send a powerful message to the universe. The moment you decide, you send a powerful message to the universe. No matter what it is that you're deciding, the moment you decide to move forward with something you want, you send a message to the universe that you are ready, open, and willing. And trust me, the universe smiles so big because she has been waiting for you to choose yourself so she can join you in making your dreams and desires come to life. The universe wants to play with us. The universe is always saying yes to us. You are always supported by the universe. And from my experience, what I see daily is the universe surprises us in ways we never could have even imagined. Somehow it works out better than what we originally hoped for. But this can only happen with the help of you. And it starts by deciding and then doing. You might be thinking, this sounds too simple, right? How could it be that all I have to do is decide and then move out of my own way and get into the action stage? But yes, it is that simple. All you have to do is get clear on what do you want. See it, feel it, believe it, visualize it into life, then commit to it, actually commit to it, and decide you're going to do that thing that you dream of doing, and then move out of your own way so the universe can support you. We as humans complicate a lot of things for a lot of reasons, but I want you to remember the power that lives inside of you. I want you to remember who you came here to be and who you came here to become. So join me in working with the universe to co-create a life of your wildest dreams. There is no point in working against yourself, and there's no point in working against the universe. I think sometimes by default, people stand in their own way and create a resistance that they're not even aware of. But that's the point. Once you get clear on what you want, and once you take the time to examine how you have been in your own way, it becomes easier to identify what needs to be done so that you can move out of your way and then get on the path of going towards what it is that you want. So I want to end this episode with sharing a few steps you can begin to take to get clear on what you want and help you get into the action step, which is the most important. I will share this part in the show notes so you guys have this information. And I'm sure we all can agree that while knowing is the first step, without actually doing and taking steps of action, nothing changes, right? They say nothing changes if nothing changes, and the only way things can change is if you choose to change them. So first, I invite you to think about an area in your life where perhaps you have been feeling unfulfilled or wanting more. Maybe you've been dreaming of opening a business, going back to school, or maybe you're in a relationship that no longer serves and supports you. Spend some time thinking about this and then journaling. As you journal, I would like you to write down a specific current situation that you're in where you feel unfulfilled or satisfied. Think about this situation and then begin to journal. What do you like about it? So exploring, is there anything about this situation that you do like? What are the positives? What don't you like about it? If you could change anything about the situation, what would you change? Then I invite you to answer, what is the barrier keeping you in this situation? Is it an underlying fear of failure? Are you worried you won't succeed? Do you not know where or how to start? Do you believe you're not good enough or too old, or that you don't have enough time? Become aware of your inner dialogue. What is the story you've been telling yourself? Then I want you to cultivate the feeling of empowerment. Begin to explore your creativity. And what I mean by this is use your imagination to imagine what it will feel like once you decide to do that thing you dream of doing. What will you feel like? Journal about what you will feel like. Journal about what you will look like. How will you be showing up in the world when you are doing the thing that you dream of doing? Allow yourself to feel excited. Begin to have thoughts that tell you, I can do this. I am capable. I am enough. I am qualified. I have enough time. I am ready. Then commit. And by the way, the moment you start journaling about this, you're already committed and you're already sending that message to the universe. But I want you to actually get into a space emotionally and mentally and even spiritually where you are ready to fully commit to your dreams. No matter how big or how small, it doesn't matter. Your dreams are your dreams. So once you commit, do that. And you can do it simply by just saying, I am committing to my dreams. I am committing to me and my goals. I am ready. Then decide to start. You can start by making a list of the steps of action you need to take that will lead you closer to the change you're seeking. Remember, it's the small daily steps of action that lead you to your dreams and the lifestyle changes. For example, if you want to apply for that dream job, a step of action would be actually making the time to complete the application and then submitting it. I know we've all probably had that experience where we start something and then we don't follow through because the little voice in our head pops up saying, oh, you're not worth it, or they're not going to hire you, or whatever your inner dialogue is. Or we start something and we don't finish because we get sidetracked, or we lose motivation, or we blame it on we don't have enough time. So the point is, commit, decide, and start. Commit, decide, and start. And the most important part of all of this is following through and being consistent. This doesn't mean every single day you're going to wake up and be completely gung-ho about doing whatever it is you have to do. Trust me, I'm going through that right now. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably heard me touch on the fact that I'm in the process of writing book number 4. And let me tell you, my writer's block is coming in waves and my creativity is coming in waves. I have some days where I wake up and I feel like I'm completely on fire. And then other days I wake up and my brain is so cloudy and the last thing I want to do is write, and I have thoughts of like, screw it, why am I even bothering? But the point is, I still show up. Even in the moments where I'm like, screw this, why am I doing it? I still show up, because what I have found is that when you show up and you do the thing that you don't want to do, you end up doing it and then you feel so much better, and that's what sparks the inspiration again, or the motivation. And so remembering that the consistency and the repetition of the daily steps of action, not only does that lead to the positive change, but eventually it becomes deep conviction that anything and everything is possible. You begin to demonstrate to yourself that no matter what, you are committed and you show up for yourself, even on the days you don't feel like it. And believing in yourself is huge. Know that you are worth it. Feel empowered to create the life you want, and trust that it will be what you want it to be, because it will be. As long as you declare it to be, then it will be. That's just the law of the universe. That's the way it works. If you have the time to think about how everything can go wrong, then that means you have the time to think about how everything could go right. So the question becomes, as I shared earlier, how will you use your time? What will you choose to focus on? So here's to deciding, and here's to doing that which serves and support you. I love you guys so much, and I really want you guys to spend some time thinking about how many times are you going to show up for the story that isn't supporting you, right? How many times are you going to still show up for the story that's not supporting you? Or how many times are you going to keep reliving the story or telling a story that doesn't serve and support you? It is so powerful when you finally wake up and realize you have the ability, the creative power to write whatever story you want to write for yourself. So here's to rewriting your story to be whatever it is you dream of. Thank you for joining me today. If you found today's episode to be insightful and inspiring, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And I kindly ask that you please leave me a review so together we can help the next person. To learn more about my products and services, check out www.themindfulliving.com and come connect with me on Instagram at mindfulliving.now, where I share daily inspiration, mindful skills, tips, and more. Until the next episode, stay mindful and always remember the power that lives inside of you.